Okay, we've got another part, Bob, and I hope you can stick with me for more than a few seconds. Just a second, I had a prop that I wanted to use. I'm just going to get it here. This is going to come in later in the video. The tile. Now, have I got your curiosity? The tile is going to feature later on in the video. So if you can't stand watching the whole video, why don't you fast forward a bit and see if you can find the bit that pertains to the tile. Now, I've not got a new sponsor. I'm not being paid by Tile to put tile in this video. You'll have to wait and see. So, what do we got here? We're revisiting the no true Scotsman fallacy. A real Christian wouldn't. Okay, so what wouldn't a real Christian do? Well, they certainly wouldn't convert to Islam or Hinduism or become an atheist. This is the accusation that lots of people, like many of the hosts of the Atheist Experience and Talk Heathen, they get phone calls telling them that they weren't true Christians. Many of them used to be Christians, and they're being told by Christians that when they were Christians, they weren't true Christians, because if they were, they'd still be Christians. So, is a true Christian just somebody who won't change their mind, no matter what evidence they're presented with? That's not what you seem to say, Bob. You give your answer as to what a true Christian is, but what's the bet that we could find somebody else who thinks they're a true Christian, who thinks that you aren't? I bet we can. That is the whole foundation of the no true Scotsman fallacy. You think you can define what a true Christian is, and you are a true Christian. But what about other people who claim to be Christians who don't believe the same as you? Remember, 33,000 sects. I forget the exact math that I did, but it's something like one sect for every 20 words in the Bible. That's how good a communication the Bible is. But I just want to finish this tiny little tirade with pointing out the response from my friends over at Black Swans. They ask you if you think that scapegoating is a good way to deal with things. Now, personally, I don't. But if you think about it, that's what the whole Jesus story is. It's scapegoating. And just to return to the whole no true Scotsman thing, Bob, answer me this. You have a set of beliefs, and you're on Twitter trying to convince people that you are right, that your set of beliefs is what everybody should have and the world would be a better place. But there's other people who believe different things on the basis of faith. Those people also have ancient texts. We've got Muslims, you've got Mormons, not so ancient, Scientologists, even less ancient, but you've got Hindus. Hinduism, as far as I'm aware, has been around longer than Christianity. You've got Jews, that's definitely been around longer than Christianity. You've got lots of different religions. I said in an earlier video, I think there's about 4,200 world religions. Now, I don't follow any of them. So we have this concept called the outsider test for faith. How could you convince me that yours is the correct one, and this guy over here is a Muslim, and this guy over here is a Jew, and this guy over here is a Hindu? They're going to try and convince me that their faith is the true one. What could you possibly say to make me think that you've got the true belief? Let's just assume for a second that one of these is true. How could you provide me with an argument or evidence that says that yours is true? It's called, as I said, the outsider test for faith. And just think about it. Please just think about it for a while. Why do people of faith believe different things on the basis of faith? And so, without having to wait too long, we've arrived at the tile. What we're looking at here is Bob's version of the lost car keys. Oh yes, except in Bob's case, it's a part of his lawnmower. No, not the nut behind the wheel, that would be Bob himself, but a bolt or something that he lost while he was doing it. And he searched everywhere for it. Everywhere. And then when he knelt to pray, it appeared in his left hand. Now, is there anybody, theist or atheist, who doesn't have a similar story, of course, without the praying bit? I have run round the house demented looking for my car keys on a number of occasions. The other day, I spent ages at work looking for my phone, only to find that I had it in my hand pressed next to a book. When did I find it? When I actually calmed down and thought to myself, when was the last time I saw the phone? Do you not think the act of kneeling and praying is that calming period when you've been looking frantically for something? Come on, Bob. There's a rational explanation for this. It's not supernatural. The bolt had not gone completely missing. God's reached down into the garden, taken your bolt, and he's holding it there and he's thinking, I'm not giving that back to Bob till he prays. Then you pray, drops it in your left hand. Do you really think that's what happened, Bob? Do you really think that? How crazy are you? I don't think you think that at all. It's just a variation of the lost car keys story. Now, tell you what I did. I went and got a tile. I'm convinced that God has actually inspired the invention of the tile, so that the next time I lose my car keys, he doesn't have to find them for me. I can just press the app on my phone and my keys will beep. If they're somewhere in earshot, I'll find them. Sorry, I've just got a facepalm. Really, Bob? Really? Now, there were a few responses to this. I like this one from Dr. Snow, and there's one from Tachyon as well, pointing out that God seems to want you to get your lawn mowed and find your bolt, but he doesn't care about people dying of cancer. He doesn't care about all the kids that starve. And what's your response to this? God works in mysterious ways. God decides which prayers he's going to answer and which prayers he's not. Well, do you not think it might be better off if God, we all might be better off, if God helped the kids who are starving and the people who are dying of cancer, and maybe your lawn went unmowed? Think about it. Come on, think about it. What you're doing is setting up an unfalsifiable proposition. If something happens that you just prayed for, no matter how mundane, you find something, then God did it. But if something doesn't happen, well, God works in mysterious ways. If you work on that basis, you can never falsify your position. And that's not a good position to be in. Okay, now I've just got a couple of bits left to go in this video. It's not going to be very long. But Bob is the gift that keeps giving. And just today he actually tweeted a couple of things that I've got to include in a part 5 on Bob. Come on, Bob, my entire career can't be doing refutations of you. For goodness sake, could you not just try to listen to one of my videos and try to refute my points for a change? Just actually try. Now, I do realise there's going to be lots of atheists online, maybe the 63 that watch the video. Oh no, it's 0 now that watch the videos, isn't it? So maybe there'll be some atheists online that point out that you haven't refuted anything, but at least you could try. Please watch the videos and actually try. I made this promise to you on Twitter the other day. If you actually find something that I've said that is totally invalid, I will stand here in front of this camera and I will retract it. I can't say fairer than that. Now, I just want to talk about this exchange that happened. Now, I don't actually know this person, Robin, who tweeted this, but I followed her this morning because I thought she had some good points, and the sort of points I might have made myself. The Bible, Bob, is a claim. It cannot also be the evidence. If you make a claim, you need to have some evidence that isn't the claim. Now, I know that this is a foreign idea to theists. You think you can just say something and it's automatically true. This is not the case. When you make a claim, you have to demonstrate that it's true. And the Bible makes a lot of claims, and there seems to be no evidence that the claims it makes are true. In fact, a lot of the claims the Bible makes are patently false. And I've been through those in other videos, so I'm not going to repeat myself here. But, just for example, bats aren't birds, people don't have strength in their hair, insects all have 6 legs. These are the sorts of things the Bible gets wrong. So it makes claims, and those claims are not true, many of them. So if you've just got a book, a storybook, that makes claims, then I could point, as many atheists do, to something like Harry Potter. If Harry Potter, there's a book and there's some true things in it because, there's real places in it and stuff like that. So therefore there must be a platform 9 3/4. Mustn't there? And finally, I've just got to give another shout out to my friend Peter from Gonna Go For It. He found some Bible verses that seem to promote cannibalism. He pointed these out to Bob, and Bob had a complete meltdown. He went around deleting loads of tweets, and unfortunately he deleted a lot of them before I actually got to them. I normally just, take a quick snap of his tweets because he does go around deleting his stupidest ones. However, what Peter says is clearly in the Bible. Here's a verse from Deuteronomy, and lots of other verses saying the same thing. It seems that not only does the Bible endorse slavery and incest and murder and entire genocides and stuff like that, but there's actually passages in here that support cannibalism now. Come on, Bob. This is the book that you hang your hat on. It says all of these things, and yet you still believe the claims that it makes, even though those claims can't be backed up from any external source, unless you quote somebody like that Daniel Wallace guy, who, we've talked about what a liar he obviously is. Anyway, that's it for today. I'll be seeing you in the next part, Bob.